Let's be deadly serious for the Stellaris Dev Diary 184, my friends. It's about death cults. It's about voluntarily sacrificing yourself for the good of your people. And that is inspired by CK2's Sunset Invasion, as they say. What is it about? It's about the death cult or corporate death cult civic. It's about sacrificing a number of the population for powerful bonuses. All of this starts with the civic. It's either the death cult civic that you can see here. The society's religion is built around periodic ritual sacrifice. The willing initiates devote themselves to a decade of study before meeting an end whose effects ripple throughout their culture. They can build a sacrificial temple where these sacrifices are done. Replaces the temple, then we have death priests in these temples and mortal initiates. Death priests turn consumer goods into unity, society, research and amenities, and mortal initiates turn a very low amount of consumer goods into society research. This unlocks a set of sacrifice edicts, providing empire-wide bonuses whenever mortal initiates are sacrificed. And you'll get a core bonus for sacrificing mortal initiates. And if you go to a very high number, depending on the number, these bonuses will get ever more powerful. As you can see, it's absolutely the same for the mega corporation. It also has the corporate death cult. It has the sacrificial temple. It has exactly the same jobs. What is the prerequisite? We can see here, you need to have at least spiritualist ethic, not fanatic purifiers, not inward perfection, not ancient preservers, and not something else. Probably also a civic. That is here. On the other hand, look, we can speculate a bit. So it doesn't end with civic here, because that would be white. And that is kind of colored, so it might not be a civic. You never know. So what we see here is the description for the Sacrificial Temple. So the Sacrificial Temple differs from the normal temple in actually not many aspects, but in one. I mean, it has the same cost, it's the same ethics attraction, but it has not the same base output. The job-based production is 3, 6, and 5, while the normal temple has even 4 society research, the same 6 unity, and 10 amenities. That is due to the mortal initiate jobs. First, we've got the death priest job. That has the job production of a normal priest, which is not that. That is with modifiers. But interesting is the upkeep. The upkeep is 1 food and 0.5 consumer goods in that specific empire. That is the upkeep for a specialist. So the death priest is also a specialist. So usually you'd have 2 specialists. In this one, you have 1 specialist, the death priest, and the mortal initiate, who is actually a worker. So he will need much less upkeep in consumer goods. And what the death priest produces, 2 society research and 6 unity, because I can show you that the mortal initiate produces the rest of the unity, 1 society, and that odd rest here, that is probably due to some kind of bonus, and nothing else. The mortal initiate is basically there. The most devout pupils of their faith dedicate the remaining portion of their lives to the betterment of their society a bit, but this concludes with their willing and fatal sacrifice. So if you don't sacrifice them, they're just bad. At least they don't have much upkeep with 0.1 consumer goods here. So you can have different sacrifices. This is the first one. Togetherness. All the mortal initiates sacrifice themselves, kills all mortal initiates. It lasts 5 years and 6 months. That is kind of a strange bonus here probably. And each one sacrificed increases the odds of additional gains in unity up to plus 35% in total, but you get a base of monthly unity plus 10% and a pop growth speed of plus 5%. So that's the base, and the more you sacrifice, the more likely it is, with a certain random factor, if I understood that right, to get up to the plus 35%. So this kills all of the people in the mortal initiate's job. So this one is a different sacrifice. It costs the same number of influence. Yes, these things cost influence. This costs, the last costed 50 influence. This also costs 50 influence and will give you 10% happiness and 5% pop growth speed as a base. And depending on the number of mortal initiates sacrificed, up to 50% more in total in pop happiness. Then there's the bounty edict. It's a little bit a more powerful edict, and that's why it has a base cost of 100 influence. Each mortal initiate sacrificed increases the odds of additional gains in mineral and energy output, up to plus 30% in total. The base you get is monthly minerals plus 5% and energy credits plus 5%, and also again pop growth speed plus 5%. And once the sacrifice is over, you'll get that message: a sacrifice made. Excited murmurings ripple over the, in that case, Dodacorp. Pilgrims await at their chosen places of worship, buoyed by an excitement quite at odds with any physical weariness they may have endured. Our society's rituals have been observed and invested in the newly emerged mortal initiates, whose silent procession was met with polite expressions of gratitude. The principal death priest at Uframpuf led a vigorous sermon, calling for the faithful to seize the joy in every moment. As the climatic moment came, each mortal initiate proceeded to the sacrificial chamber under rapturous applause. Each has met their end now, leaving a legacy in benevolent study. And blessed be the divine, this sacrifice of mortal initiates has granted an additional 10% pop happiness, which is a very low value. As we've seen, that can go up to plus 50% happiness, which is really a big bonus. And that will bring up a lot of questions about cookie cutter builds for this. You'll have maybe populations with high pop growth speed, and then instead of fixed bonuses, you sacrifice parts of your quickly growing population again and again for the selection of flexible bonuses, like happiness or production, things like that, or unity production. There's certainly very speedy builds to be expected with this. And of course, it also makes for a bloody inspiring story. When you think back of the Aztecs, or maybe also the Vikings, there were certainly rituals, and also when you think of Japan, there were certainly rituals also here on our humble planet Earth, which inspired a lot of people for the good or for the evil. Thank you for watching and happy gaming to you. We'll see each other in the next one of these videos, or in one of the other Stellaris videos on the channel. Have a great time until then, and happy gaming. This is Immanuel signing out. See you soon. And happy gaming. And if you want to know more, just subscribe.